Welcome back to Design Bundles YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal, and today, for the first time, we are going to set up and play with the Cricut Hat Press. So let's go ahead and dive right in. For today's project, we are going to be using the Mega Craft Bundle. So this is a bundle that is currently available, so you guys can snag this entire thing. So this is bundles inside of a huge bundle for only $19. Now you can still purchase this in case this bundle is over, but you can still purchase this in its own bundle, which I'm going to show you right now. So like I said, as you guys can see, it comes with tons and tons of bundles. And the one that I am actually using today is right here. This is the Christian bundle. I'm going to go ahead and finish scrolling down just to show you there is tons of bundles. So right here is the Christian bundle. So inside here, you guys can actually still purchase this. We'll have it linked down below. We'll have the craft bundle as well as this bundle. So you guys can still check that out if you will. So today I'm using one of the super cute designs from here. What I really love about it is it comes with some plain designs, but it also comes with ones that are more rustic and kind of beat up. So it gives it that distressed, if you will. So we are using this one here. I already downloaded it, and you can put these on t-shirts, mugs, hats, as you can see here today. So lots of ideas. So now let's go ahead and make our hat. Now for this project, we have timestamps. So if you guys have already set this up, it's only going to take us a few seconds. But if you want to skip this part, you can go ahead and skip to where we're making the hat. But if you have not set yours up, I'm going to show you how easy it is. So what we're going to first do is I've got it plugged in. We're going to go ahead and power it on by clicking on the power button here. We're going to turn that on. And then we're going to come over here to our app. So once you've downloaded your app and you've opened it, you're going to click on set up a new heat press, which is right here. You can see that we have a hat press. We're going to go ahead and hit connect. And now what it's doing is connecting through the Bluetooth to set it up. So I'm going to go ahead and hit I agree. So if you guys want to, go ahead and read through the privacy policy, but I've already done so with my previous press. So I'm going to go ahead and hit activate. So as you guys can see, you've heard a little beep here from the press, and you can see the process there. So it's doing any sort of updates it needs to do and just completely setting it up. So you only have to do this once. So if you guys don't plan on using this with the app, you can still use it by itself, which we're going to show you in a future tutorial. So stay tuned. So you only have to use it once if you're setting it up. Like I said, you don't have to continue to do it. All right, so we are ready. So we're going to go ahead and hit done. So now you can see I have the 9x9 and now I have the hat press. So if you only have the hat press, you're only going to see that and so on and so forth. So as you add these, you'll only see those. So we're going to go ahead and click on the hat press because we want to start a new project. So before we start that, I'm going to go ahead and talk about this really quickly. I cut this out with my Cricut Explorer 3, but you guys could use whatever model, whether it's silhouette, etc. But you guys can see the distress on this. I think it's so cute. And then I'm actually using a different brand hat. So today we're going to put it to the test without using the Cricut brand, but you can definitely purchase hats that are from Cricut. So they have some, you can buy them, I believe, in a single pack or a 6-pack. And what I like about that is you're going to be able to find them locally at Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, etc. But you can still use whatever hat you want to. So these hats, for example, I purchased these from places like Hobby Lobby, as well as this one right here is actually CC. I'm going to link down below where I purchased mine. I really get a good deal. It's actually a wholesale, but you don't need a wholesale license for it. And I really get all of my CC hats over there. So another place I get them from is Clothing Shop Online, and I'll have it linked down below as well. But this is a CC hat. It's really cool because if you have ponytails, it has these little crisscrosses in the back. So if you guys want to use a more nicer hat, say for example, I'm going to sell this in my boutique, I would want to maybe purchase a higher end hat so I can sell these for, maybe $30. So, we've got our hat here, and you don't have to pull off your tags or anything. So the only thing that we're going to want to make sure we remove before we get started is this piece right here. Next up, when you purchase your Cricut Hat Press, it's actually already going to come with this is your hat press. So, we've already had the Cricut mats. Now they've made it in a circle. So I'm really excited about that. Now, number one, I want to point out right away, keep in mind when you open this, it's going to show you that there is a warning label. But before you go purchase one of these, These do contain walnut shells. So if you have a nut allergy, or if you know your grandchild has one, or any friends and family that's going to become close to this, I would steer away from it. So definitely keep that in mind that this does contain them. It comes on there as well as a warning label right inside of your tag here. All right, so we have our hat form. You may want to get yourself a little ruler here so that way you can figure out exactly your placement and things like that. So let's go ahead and set this up and I'll keep talking through here. So what I did was I cut this out. I cut it out, I believe 4.5 inches wide, which gave me 2.3. So before I actually got started, I measured the base of this thing and it was 3.5. So I knew I could work within that, but I know with hats, you really want about, 4 to 4.5 inches. So this is on the more bigger side. You'd probably want to stick with around 4 inches. And so go with that width before the height is what I always do. All right, so let's go ahead and get this going so I can start heating up. What we're going to do is we're going to go to start a new, hopefully this can focus. We're going to go to start a new project. And then we're going to choose our transfer materials, which is just everyday iron-on. If you're using Caesar Easy Weed, you choose the same, which is what I'm doing. I'm using Caesar Easy Weed. And then we're going to choose 100% cotton. We're going to hit next. So it's going to tell us what temperature and time we need and all of those things. And then the materials we're going to need. I'm going to go ahead and hit send settings to the hat press, if you will. And so now it's sending those settings over here. So it knows exactly what temperature and how long it needs to go for. Now, if you guys are familiar, so see it says get connected, plug in your, oh, I need to power it back on. I never powered it back on after the, so make sure you power that back on after it does its first connection because it's going to shut itself off. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK. So now it has sent those settings to our press. So you guys can see that there. It's flashing. We've got our lights on and things like that. And you're going to, from the app, if you're going to use the app with it, you're going to be able to see those exact settings on here as well as the steps. So the very first step is we are going to have the 60 seconds. We're going to apply pressure. Now, this one does, you need to do the 5 seconds, I believe, preheat. 60 seconds, apply light pressure. I'm trying to see really quick. I wonder why it's not showing me 5 seconds because it should show. I'm going to wait and let it just heat up and we'll go from there. All right. While that's heating up, we're going to go ahead and come back over here to our hat. So to figure out your dimensions, like I said, you've got 3.5. You don't want to get all the way to edge. You want to keep yourself inside there. So I kind of just measured like this. So I really could have got away with, and which would have been best, would have been about 4 inches wide. And then you don't want to go higher than that 3 inches. So you probably want to do about 2.5 high. So that's how I figured that out. So let's go ahead and prep up the hat form. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this guy over here. And we're just going to go ahead and get this on here. Now it's going to be interesting to note because normally with your hat presses, you want to get this out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and try to pull that forward and just see if it needs to do that. I haven't really seen anybody talk about that. So we'll try it. Now I think I need to make sure I'm keeping it because I believe that your hat, you want the front of your hat to be on these, right? Not on this. So I'm trying to make sure when I put this guy on here that it's staying there. So we're pulling, I'm going to pull mine forward. We're going to try it like that first. Because like I said, from pressing hats with a bigger hat press, that's what you would do. So we're going to pull this guy around here. Kind of pushing it in there. There we go. So now he's on there. Now I've seen some people kind of tap it down, I think, kind of getting it nice and perfect. And I'm going to go ahead just to make mine smoother. I'm just checking this. See how I'm making sure mine's on the outside? Because you want a nice even surface underneath here when we press. So I think that looks good. So it fits on there nicely. So if you guys are wondering, can it fit other types of hats? Yes. So you just want to make sure when you have this on here that everything is nice and smooth. So we should have this piece right here on the underneath. All right. So this is ready to go. And like I said, I'm curious because I thought we would need to pre-press for 5 seconds. But I know if I go to hit go on this, we're going to get the 60 seconds. And I don't want that. I want to stop at the 5 seconds. So I may have to, I'm going to go ahead and shut mine down. And then we'll see what it says again. So it's keeping it at that 60 seconds. So I have to go back and see why with the custom, not the custom settings, but the settings that Cricut has for us, why it didn't set the 5 seconds, because you really want to preheat that for 5 seconds while any sort of moisture. All right, we are ready. So what would normally happen if it did do that? It would first give you a time of 5 seconds. You would press it, hit go. It would then change itself over to 60 seconds. So we are ready. We're going to now line this guy up, and you see we've got this little line here, but mine is nice and smooth. Everything is smooth here. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out about where I want this to be, something like this. And now Cricut has designed a new heat tape. This is supposed to be a stronger one. Now, as somebody that also has a heat press, a bigger one, it doesn't really stick to a round surface. It's hard to kind of get tape to stick down correctly. So it'll be interesting to see how well this works. So we're going to get us 2 pieces of tape. Especially when it comes to sublimating, you want this stuff to stay really still. And I think we can get away with just little pieces like this. So at the end of the day, this is just stronger. Now, when you first purchase your press, it does come with a little roll of it, as you guys can see here. And then you can purchase this separately as well. Now, you guys do notice the hole is bigger. Now, I don't know if it's because it's the sample one, so I'll be curious to see if we can fit the other one on a regular one. All right, so the next thing we want to do, now we preheated, everything's taped down. We just want to make sure we're completely covering our design, which we are, and we're going to hit that go button. And then when we do, we're going to go ahead and give it some pressure here right in the center. And you're going to see here that it's telling us that how much longer we have here on the app. Now, once again, you do not have to use the app. You can just go ahead and turn it on. And you have 3 different settings. So whenever you hit that, power button, you should be able to change it. If you guys have ever played around with the little mini Cricut Easy Press, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, what's really cool with the app, because say, for example, with that little mini Cricut Easy Press, which I know their newer model is coming in May, what you're going to be able to do with that as well is give you the time. It's going to have a built-in timer for you, because before we would have to try to think about it on our own. This is going to also give us that time. It works as a timer. All right, so we are getting close. We're almost there. And it says apply light pressure is what it's telling us to do. We've got 7 seconds. And we are almost there. All right, there we go. Perfect. And that's it. So it tells us to go ahead and let it cool down just a little bit. And so it says to let it cool is what it says here. So from here, we could go ahead and pull it off the press if we want to, or the hat form if you want to, but I'm going to kind of let mine cool down for just a second. And then it says allow 24 hours before washing. It says do not, it says hand wash in cold water, do not bleach, line dry, and then do not dry clean. All right, I love the way that this hat came out. I think it came out so cute. And I love the fact that it's distressed, and then this one's distressed as well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start to peel this little guy just like so. There we have it. Now, to me, I can see a couple pieces that I would prefer to go over it just one more time, just for a few seconds, and that's what I'm going to do. So all I simply have to do is go right back on top, and you see I didn't have to do anything here. It automatically knows what I'm doing. And I'm just going for a few seconds because, like I said, I noticed it could use one more press. All I used here was a piece of parchment paper, and that's it. So I could go ahead and hit that button again to shut that down, and that's it. Once you're done, you're simply going to pull it off your hat form here. And that's it. So that's going to keep the shape of your hat so it's not distorting it, because we've obviously done these in the past using the mini one. But what we would do is either A, I would fold up the Cricut mat press, like the smaller one, and use it to press on. Or, you'd flip them inside out and things like that. But this is going to allow it to keep its shape and all of that. So there you guys have it. How super cute is that? I love it. I think this is such a game changer. I'm so glad that Cricut did this. You guys let me know in the comments below. Have you guys already purchased one? Are you planning on purchasing one? And you guys seen how easy it was to set up. So there you guys have it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one.